You know that feeling when you're just cramming for a test, memorizing stuff without really getting it? Well, what if an AI could learn like a true master, not just by seeing more information, but by actively making the problems harder for itself? Today, we're diving into the incredible story of Wizard Coder, an AI that learned to do exactly that. So, in this super competitive world of AI, there was this huge gap opening up. On one side, you had the tech giants with their powerful closed-off AI models. And on the other, you had the open source community, really trying their best to keep up. But that gap was getting wider, and it honestly looked like game over. But then, a team of researchers decided to just rewrite the rulebook. Okay, so let's set the stage here. To really get why Wizard Coder is such a big deal, you first have to understand the world it was born into. So you had these two camps, right? In one corner, you have the giants, models like GPT-4 and Claude. Unbelievably powerful, sure, but their methods, their code, it's all a big secret, a black box. And in the other corner, you have the open source challengers like StarCoder and CodeLlama. Their code is out there for everyone to see and build on, but they just couldn't match the performance. This was the core problem. So how do you even begin to close a gap that big? Well, the Wizard Coder team figured out the answer wasn't just to throw more and more data at the problem. The solution wasn't more training, it was smarter training. And they called their method Code Evolve Instruct. Now, the idea here is really clever. Instead of just force-feeding an AI millions of simple examples, Evolve Instruct basically acts like an AI personal trainer. It takes a simple task and just keeps upping the difficulty, systematically making it harder and more complex to build the AI's problem-solving muscles. And this personal trainer has a whole bunch of tricks up its sleeve. It'll add new constraints out of nowhere. It'll swap an easy requirement for a really obscure one. It'll even throw in intentionally wrong code just to see if the AI is paying attention. It's this intense, customized workout designed to push the AI way beyond its comfort zone. So that all sounds great in theory, but what does this process of evolving a task actually look like in the real world? Let's actually walk through a real example from the paper. You're going to see how a super simple request gets twisted and transformed into a seriously complex challenge. Okay, here we go. Round 0. This is about as straightforward as it gets, a basic database query. It's our starting line, simple stuff. And now, round 1. The Evolve Instruct method tosses in a new condition. Suddenly, we're not just looking for clothes. We have to specifically exclude a brand. The complexity just ticked up a notch. And then, boom, we jump to round 3. That simple little request is now a monster with a whole web of conditions, a price range, multiple color options, a specific sorting order, and a limit on the results. This is the AI equivalent of going from lifting a 5-pound dumbbell to clean and jerking in the Olympics. So the team created this insane training program. They took a decent open source model and put it through the Code Evolve Instruct bootcamp. And out came Wizard Coder. The only question left was, could this scrappy underdog actually step into the ring with the giants? The results were, frankly, a bombshell. On the HumanEval Plus benchmark, and this is a seriously tough test of real-world coding ability, the smaller 15 billion parameter Wizard Coder didn't just compete, it blew right past the competition, outscoring giants like Google's Bard and Anthropic's Claude. The underdog just landed a knockout punch. But wait, there's more. Then you have its bigger sibling, Wizard Coder 34B. This model scored a jaw-dropping 71.5% on the HumanEval benchmark. Now, to put that into perspective, that's playing in the same league as the legend itself, ChatGPT. And this table right here, this is the proof. This shows you the magic wasn't a fluke. Look at the base models before this special training. CodeLlama starts at a pretty good 53.7%. After the Wizard Coder treatment, it rockets up to 71.5%. And StarCoder makes an even crazier jump, nearly doubling its score. This wasn't just a tiny boost. This was a complete transformation. Which brings us to the most important question of all. What was the real secret here? What was the key that unlocked this insane level of performance? The researchers had to be sure this wasn't just a lucky accident. Did the model get better just because it saw more examples, or was the kind of example, the complexity, the real secret sauce? And their analysis was crystal clear. When they trained models on tons more of that simple round 0 data, performance barely moved. But when they trained on the harder, evolved, more complex data, even with a similar amount of it, the performance just shot through the roof.
It was all about the quality and the difficulty of the curriculum, not the quantity of the data.
I mean, don't just take my word for it. The research team put it perfectly themselves. They said the main reason for the improvement was their Code Evolve Instruct method, not just adding more data. It was proof that a smarter way of teaching can make all the difference.
So, what's the big takeaway from all this? The success of Wizard Coder points to this really powerful new idea in AI. We might be moving into a new era where how we design the curriculum for our AI models is just as important, maybe even more important, than just finding more and more data to feed them.
And that leaves us with a pretty cool thought. By creating these really complex, evolving challenges, we're not just teaching an AI to write code, we're teaching it how to think its way through difficult problems. If complexity really is the key, you just have to wonder, what other incredible skills are just one clever curriculum away?